Hey guys, this is Aaron Tazrick with Kodiak Emergency Vehicles. We're the Braun, Demers, and Crestline dealership for the state of Michigan. Today we're going to do a walk around of the Braun Chief XL. All right, so now we're going to walk you around our Braun Chief XL demo. First thing I like to point out is that Braun roof. That roof's not just for watershed. That arched roof is really, when you see a bridge or a flatbed truck, that arch up there is really what's creating that strength of the Braun. There is a 1.5 times the weight capacity testing that needs to be done on all ambulances. Braun actually exceeds that testing, it maxes out the test equipment, and really that's one of the main key features that you see as the Braun's coming down the road, and you know that the occupants in that vehicle are safe. So let's walk you around real quick here. Hidden unlock switch in the front, in the front grille. That's great, especially if you're on scene somewhere or anything and you end up getting locked out. Cast angled housing. It's angled. The cast is the manufacturer, but the angled housing, so when you're coming into the intersection, it helps to point that light in the right direction. So coming around the corner here, one of the things that I really like to point out is that there is no extrusions in the Braun. So if you look at the seams on all four corners, there's usually in the competition will be an extrusion in that side. That extrusion is a different alloy, which is going to cause can cause some electrolysis or some issues with your paint. But also, just in Michigan especially, you can get that corrosion and stuff that will start on those seams. Same thing around the doors is that you don't have any seams around your doors as well. That again is going to help with any of that corrosion or any issues that you'll have. Small auto eject. One thing I like to point out here is you don't pull that thing out. It's like dry firing a gun. You want to make sure that you're using your key to let that come out. A shoreline indicator. This is a great option that we like to add to all of our demos and talk the customers into having. This lets you know that you have power coming into your shoreline. So stepping around to the number 1 compartment. So Eberhard door handles. These are free floating, meaning if they're locked, competition's handles will kind of pull and bind, and when you're doing that, you're actually pulling on all the mechanisms and stuff that are in there. So these are free floating. They are also locked and unlocked with the key fob on the side. So the key fob will lock and unlock your entire vehicle, so you know that everything's locked there. So fit the glove hand, free floating. This is the O2 compartment. So we'll move to number 2. Number 2 compartment here, what I like to point out is the gator hide interior. Gator hide interior is going to really help with the longevity of the interior of your compartments, but also help with any wear and tear that you're going to have on your equipment. So a lot of the guys, the competition will put tread plate in there as your shelving and the bottom, and this gator hide is going to not tear up your equipment as you're coming through. Number 3 compartment here. What I want to point out here is that these are sweep-out compartments. Sweep-out meaning that they're even with the top there, with the threshold, so that you can easily sweep out any debris or water. There is a weep hole in the back too. The competition sometimes will put about an inch step down there where you get a lot of corrosion and stuff that will start to happen. Stair chair on the door. So the stair chair on the door really helps us to show the Braun strength and the strength of the doors. But also this stair chair with our demo can fit on this side or on the other side too. All right, so moving around to the back, we do still have the Whelen 900 series or 100 series lights. One thing I like to point out is that we do add brake override in these, meaning if you have all your lights on like they are right now and you hit your brakes, these will go to a steady burn. Those are all LED, and I want to also point out the 24 diode LED scene lights. Whelen. Also the Hanscom reverse camera. That's great for, you still use your mirrors, but that's going to show you right down to the back of your bumper. And then speaking of bumpers, in case you do hit anything, we added some bumper pods in here. So it's great for just if you're backing up and you got a whoops moment there that I hit something. Also, you have a flip up bumper with a poly insert. That poly insert really helps you out for not tearing up the cot. I'll flip that up and show you underneath. You do have LED ground lighting, so that LED ground lighting is anywhere that you're going to go in and out of the vehicle so that you can see where you're stepping into during when it's dark out. So moving over here, I'd like to at this point talk to about, this is kind of like that top corner there of a Braun, and this is really the differentiator in a Braun. So they use a .125 aluminum. The thickness is .125. I think most of the competition is using an 090. This is the roof skin, and then it's a fully seam welded all the way around. But really, when you get back into the guts of it, this is what makes the Braun different. So everything's going to be brake formed, meaning that they're going to take that aluminum, they're going to bend it like that, and then it's going to be welded in to the entire vehicle. Versus the competition's going to use a extrusion with a VHB tape. That welds a lot stronger. Really, when you're bending this .125 and putting it in there and welding it in there, it's great. Also, it's that same alloy, and in addition to it, the extrusions are heavier, and when you have all that heaviness, especially up in your roof, you're going to create a higher center of gravity, versus a Braun's going to have lower center of gravity, giving you the ability to really have the wear and tear, but with the ride and handling as well, but that wear and tear on your vehicle. So moving over to the number 4 compartment. Stepping over here, it's going to be really set up for backboard seat collars, and this is also where you can fit your stair chair. So one of the things I want to point out here too is going to be, back to, real quick here, I'd talk through that brake forming. So, really when you're bending that metal, what I like to show is, if you take this piece of paper here and have, really that's 090, let's just say for argument's sake. You fold it, you get .125 thickness. You bend it, and you create that strength there, and that's what's happening when you're brake forming that, or you're bending that metal, and then you're actually taking a weld and welding it through. Versus the competition may use that VHB tape or just some type of a sealant or something that's going to hold that together. So this is the door there. That's .125 also on the doors, pan formed. But what I really like to point out here is you do have to use a different alloy when it comes to your fasteners. One of the things that Braun does is takes that plastic barrier, if you can see there, and puts it back behind there so those dissimilar metals aren't touching, because that's another point where you start to see that corrosion coming through, especially on the competitions, because those dissimilar metals are touching, you start to get the corrosion. So moving over, I'm going to jump over here again. The scene lights, Wayland 24 diode. Moving to the ALS compartment real quick. It's just a standard compartment, and then you have the battery with a slide out tray that's going to help with serviceability of your battery. One of the things too here, just real quick, that I'll point out is the LED lights that we have as an option that we've added onto here, so that if you do have a door open and you're on scene somewhere and traffic's coming, they can see that your doors are open. Now moving to the Easy Glide door. I don't know if we've ever sold a hinge door in the state of Michigan. I think Braun sells about 98% of what they sell is the Easy Glide door. So Easy Glide door, what I like to point out here is especially in Michigan, if you're on scene on the side of the road, you usually have those deep ditches, and you have the ability, instead of having that hinge door here, you can jump right into your ALS back and forth. But the other thing I really like to point out is if you are on scene, you have the ability to stick your head out to look to the rear of the vehicle to see if any traffic's coming. But if you had that hinge door, you couldn't look to the front of the vehicle to see if anything's coming in. With the Easy Glide door, it gives you that ability to do so. Now let's step on the inside and take a look. All right, so let's step inside of this Braun Chief XL and take a look around. So first thing I want to point out is going to be the Zyco Portable 02 brackets or holders here. It's great for on the curbside also to be able to reach in and grab them, but also these are crash rated. Other thing I like to point out is on a Braun you have the ability to do the system activate and checkout lights. Checkout lights here versus having those timers that knobs usually break and everything. This gives you the ability to turn the checkout lights as well as activate the whole thing. The scene lights, it's going to be on the front and the back. You have the ability to turn your scene lights off. And then really I like it too with the lock and unlock feature, that if you are inside and you have the reason to lock up, you know that everything's locked up so that nobody can get in, including your cab and all your cabinets. Also, antimicrobial grab bars. One, antimicrobial, great to clean. And also you can look, and you'll see it throughout the video as you're going through, just the yellow to be able to see quickly where to grab. So stepping inside here, you're going to have your Valor airway seat. So Valor airway seat on a swivel base. It's going to have child safety feature in it. So child seat. Also, and these meet the new crash test or restraint standards. This has the ability to have just one click. So instead of having a few multiple clicks, you have one click here. Also, just real quick point out is you do have the ability to recline, which is a key feature I hear, especially if you're going on long transfers. So looking over to the side here, Braun has, as standard, the solid surface countertop. This is kind of like a Corian countertop you would have in your home, but all solid surface. There's no seams anywhere versus a wood or a plastic countertop. Also, it does have the VMUX multiplex system, which is a peer-to-peer system versus a master system. I'll talk a little bit more about this when we get into the cab. Big differentiator in the Braun is going to be the all-aluminum interior. So this is an all-aluminum interior that is fully welded. It's welded into the body. It's part of that Braun lifetime warranty of the body. And you know, it's going to have a multi-spec on it. So back to being welded in the body, some of the competition may use fasteners or screws or bolts to put it into the body. Braun's going to weld that, and it's also going to be that multiplex or multi-spec is not going to have a lot of the other guys will have Formica over top of the aluminum, which is a wood product that can crack and oil can after a while. But you know, in general, that all aluminum versus a wood interior is great for not having any issues with bloodborne pathogens soaking into the walls and the longevity of the vehicle. Also in the floor, there is no wood in the floor, which you can't see here, but the interior, it's a composite material versus most of the competition is going to put a wood subfloor in there. So moving on to the curbside here, I want to just point out that we do have glove box holders above the curbside door. Those are easy to jump in, grab them, or grab them as you're coming on your way out. The other thing is we do have a sharps and waist here. We see standard is sharps and waist through the bench top, but also we're seeing a lot of different things up in the front, like a cabinet, or you'll also have an A-bar with your sharps and waist. You'll see here that we have a net. Safety net helps that if you do have to be unbelted for some reason and there's a quick stop, it's going to catch you from going into there. But again, net, A-bar, cabinet, which we're seeing a lot more of as we're going through. So it does have the Valor seat backs as well here. One of the things that we did as an option, usually there's the Braun VitalMax lighting up here as the standard, but as an option we've added a cabinet above here that's great for being able to just store a little more things. You do have the inside-outside access. One of the things here that we added is going to have speakers for your OEM speakers, which are going to be like your radio, so you can jam back here or relax back here when you're on those long transfers, especially with the patient. You do have a Franklin digital clock. Right now it's set to the date, but when you change that over and you have seconds on here, it's great because it can be seen from anywhere in the module. You do have also a Handscom module camera. This Handscom camera is wonderful for the driver to be able to see what's going on back here, and if there is reason to stop an emergency, they can see what's going on. Also, Braun VitalMax lighting. This is a standard feature in a Braun, and this Braun VitalMax lighting really helps to reduce the shadows. So that angled lighting helps to reduce the shadows in the vehicle and is a great standard on a Braun. You also have inventory tags, so you'd have the ability to set up and have inventory tags here so that if you don't use this cabinet for some reason in the heat of the battle, you'll know when you get back that you didn't open it up. And you do also have the restocking feature. Restocking feature is going to give you the ability to get in and out of the cabinet very easy to restock it. And also point out here that you do have the Ridgeback LED scene lighting, or LED cabinet lighting. The cabinet lighting is going to really help so that you can, from anywhere seated position or anything, you can look to see what's in there and quickly know what's in there. One of the things I want to point out too, if you can walk around on this side, is going to be that everything now needs to be pull tested, and you'll see inside the pull test rating. And one of the things that you might want to check out is if you do see anybody else's demo, what are their cabinets rated at for pull testing. So now we're on to the street side. Down here you do have your glove box holder that is set up really to be able to grab your glove boxes from outside. The monitor shelf, and again the Valor airway seat, or CPR seat. And then last but not least, the ProAir heat and AC unit. So I know it's 56,000 BTUs from the heat side. We're always worried about the heat in Michigan. But the 56,000 BTUs from the ProAir, you can do ducted heat and AC in the Braun as an option. And then also on this vehicle, we do have a UV light that's in the ductwork that helps to cut down on some of the contaminants back here. So let's check out the cab. Hey, and finally stepping into the cab of this E450 Ford. It's a gasoline engine. First thing that you're going to notice is the USB ports. There's a lot of ports and stuff around here. I always tell customers, make sure that if you're thinking of electrical to put anything anywhere, make sure you put it in now because it's pretty inexpensive to do so. Armrests are great. The Fords come with them standard. You do have the VMUX peer-to-peer multiplex system in the front as well. That VMUX is peer-to-peer versus a master that if the master goes down, everything goes down. You do have a Whelen dual tone siren. Dual tone is going to be great for sounding like there's two different sirens coming, and it also changes through the OEM horn. Cup holders, mat box, and the Show Me LED scene light. LED is great versus halogen. For the longevity and everything of that. The other thing too is the dome light. So you have a red and clear dome light in the ceiling. Whelen. It's great to have the red on the driver's side to help with glare. The big thing that I want to point out here is really also the console. The all aluminum console versus a wood console. All aluminum is going to be great for the longevity. This is very, very customizable. But really that's one of the distinctions in the Braun is that console that's up there and how customizable it is. Last thing is going to be the pass-through door. It really helps with any airborne pathogens or anything coming through and helps to protect you from COVID. Hey, thanks for checking out our Braun Chief XL demo. If you'd like us to come out and schedule a time for us to stop out and show it to you, please give us a call at 888-477-6033, or you can check us out online at Kodiak-EV.com, or if you happen to be within the Lansing area, we are in Grand Ledge, Michigan, near Lansing, so stop out, check us out, see our 4-bay service facility, some of our mobile service, or see some of the things that we're working on. So thanks again, and stay safe out there.